Tap last week for inspiration.
I think I got it once
Okay.
I've got my stuff up. Um, did we kill Bavlorna last session? Or, no, that was the week before.
Mhm.
Correct.
Um, let's see. Uh, we adopted a cat. Um, uh, we um we discovered a portrait of Bavlorna with some dark-haired woman in her house. Um, the woman we're taking kind of shots in the dark at who it might be. We think it might be Zabilna. Um, we also um, we encountered Spittle Spew, the enchanted cauldron, as well as Octavian, the heartless Eladrin. We returned his heart to him. He and his buddy, I didn't get his name, the satyr friend that we rescued, our nude satyr friend,
Vansel.
capered off together.
Yeah, sorry. His name was Vansel.
Oh, right, thank you. And I think did we talk to Soggy Court a little bit?
No, you have not gotten back to the Soggy Court
Okay.
after clearing the house, basically.
Okay.
The only thing I'd like to add, we found the marionette that
Oh,
one side was Gleam and the other side was Glister.
that's right. I should add that to my notes. That was important.
Yeah, that seemed.
It wasn't magical though, as far as we could tell, right?
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we
It was
also got
just
a
kind of
floating.
spooky.
Yeah, we also got a floating lily pad.
I got some. I have +2 cursed pincushions.
Oh, I actually did write the marionette in my equipment list, or in our hordes list, I guess. Um, let's see, a broken wishbone in a chicken-legged hut of a jar, 12-inch tall marionette with 2 faces, an unpunched witchlight ticket, 3 identify scrolls tied together by a lute string, a dark wooden eye with a red iris radiating divination. Each of us received a leaf of good luck, and we found some health potions as well.
And a little guy.
Oh yeah,
Guy.
a little guy.
Our little guy.
I'm sure I'm not going to regret that in the slightest.
He's just gonna ruin
Little
every
singing
stealth
friend.
attempt we ever make.
So yeah, you have cleared the last of the rooms in Bavlorna's cottage. Many were the same sort of grody and rundown, sort of unkept mess, I guess is the nice way to put it, other than the one room that you found that had a number of art projects, but also the aforementioned ruined portrait. There was a large number of craft areas of various grotesqueries, various levels of grossness, including a taxidermy shop, but there has been no further assault upon your persons other than by a hat stand desperately trying to get a hat back. That's the other thing you found.
Oh yes, Arlen has a hat.
And so I'm not on. Okay, we're back. And so you are in the same sort of shallow pool room. You have. No, wait, you guys have gone back. What am I talking about? Because you are standing outside. Well, next to, rather. We wrapped up at the.
I think we
the
wrapped
cauldron.
up right here, actually. Because wasn't the
Yeah.
last thing
Yes.
getting that dude his heart back?
Correct. Yes. And so you are in the Soggy Court. Octavian and Vansel have left to make their way back to the inn at the end of the road, where they have played shows in the past. The tree across the way has finally quieted. Um, the little pixies, whatever they are, that were hurling insults at you, and then through a little creative enchantment, uh, started having a go at each other. They have either settled down to work it out or have knocked each other unconscious. Who knows? But either way, the tree is quiet, although the regular sounds of the swamp continue to chirp and hoot and bubble all around you. The water flowing through the rivers here to down. Morgort, your Bullywug Knight companion that you have rescued, is still here with you and looks at you expectantly.
Onward.
Hmm, where would you like me to take you?
Well, Your Highness, are you prepared to speak with the court?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we better get that set up.
I mean, I'm pretty tough to talk to. What?
Ha!
I see what you have done there. Very entertaining.
I've held off until now.
Walking up the wooden path that keeps you out of the worst of the mud and back to the skiffs that you that you borrowed from the Soggy Court after the rescue of Morgort. You are able to make your way past the court or the palace area where you changed into your current finery and back to the leaning open palisade, open gazebo that makes up the open court of the Soggy Court. And true to their word, neither Gullop nor Illig is sitting in the throne. Illig is seated on a stack of pillows, running a froggy hand over um, the little snoot of his crocodile friend. Illig and a few of his friends, the ones that were going to partake in his revolution, are seated against one of the pillars, against a pair of the pillars that are close, just having a hushed conversation. And sort of standing in between them are the Bullywug Knights that you saw before, who sort of are casting dirty looks at both groups. At Illig and his friends, and back over at Gullop and Snoodles the crocodile. And as you all approach along the spit of earth between the throne area and the palace, the Duke Baron Illig and his flunkies jump to their feet, and Gullop looks at you all and lets out a heavy sigh and stands up and turns to face you. Well, you lived. Can't I said I saw that coming.
I want to um uh run on up to the throne and dramatically like dust it off and then gesture to it at Arland. My liege.
Arlen approaches and kind of hops up, doesn't sit down, just kind of stands on the throne. Uh, yeah, so the hag is dead. So you know, uh, uh,
Did, did you did you bring back proof or what?
do we bring back proof? I don't think we did.
Oops.
I mean, you're kind of just gonna have to take our word, and the fact that you'll never see her again is probably pretty good proof.
Also,
mean,
we're alive.
I mean, well, yeah, but you could have just got in and turned around. I mean,
We could have done that. That is true. We took a bunch of stuff. Uh,
We have a cat.
I mean, you could send someone to go look. I mean,
yeah, no, we'll take your word for it. I mean,
Yeah,
we'll
it's
check
kind of
eventually, and if you're lying, well,
a big lie. It'd blow up in our faces pretty quick.
Well, among the things we found is this clapper claw. If you would like, I believe this is yours.
there is a startled rattling noise as whatever is in the gourd that serves as Clapperclaw the Scarecrow's head dances around as he spins to face you, and just the excited, my head, and he comes tearing through, pushing past all the Baron's buddies and past the Bullywug Knights, who sort of give him a dirty look and eye him warily and sidle their way up to stand in front of the throne. And Clapperclaw runs over to you and holds out his little metal claws.
Yeah, I handed to him and I said, I am just the messenger. It really Court and Hemlock, they are the two that found and identified what this actually was. I was just the one to carry it the last bit of the way.
I don't know about me. I was pretty preoccupied.
Well, you dragged me into that room. We never would have seen it without you.
Something's a little different. New haircut, new clothes.
He does a back handspring, but without touching the ground.
And I was right, new clothes.
You got it, boss.
Clapperclaw clicks his metal claws together and very, very gingerly takes this skull from you, Banner, and holds it in one claw as he snips through the gourd and dumps it onto the ground. What exactly this skull rests on? I mean, there's a post coming up that clearly serves as his trunk, body, neck, spine, maybe all of the above. And he just settles very gingerly the stag skull back on, and he puts out his hands for a minute, his claws rather, turns a little to the left, turns a little to the right, and then just does the cartoon arms in the air and runs around in a figure eight around this place. Oh my god! Oh my god! I got my head! And from your shoulder on the throne, Arlen, the little Campari, got his head, just immediately starts following along with this jubilant little verse that Clapperclaw is singing, and eventually he does settle, and he steps back in front of the throne, and he goes down on one knee. Your Majesty, for the service rendered, I have nothing I can really give you to say thank you, except anything that I might do for you, anything that you might need. Clapperclaw the Scarecrow is at your service.
I mean, yeah, we'll keep that in mind. We'll be able to get in touch with you if we need to. Um, you we are needing to get set up kind of a bit of a parliament here. You wouldn't be happen to be interested. Are you part of the court, or are you just visiting? I don't
Oh
remember.
no. I'm not from the court. I'm
Oh,
just
okay, cool.
I came here because the brigands stole my head and brought it here.
Oh,
But
that makes sense.
you,
Yeah.
I send a message to Arlen and say, perhaps he might be useful in finding a way into thither or yon.
Uh, hmm. I'll reply to your message. Maybe we should take him with us for now, or
Hemlock not so subtly shrugs.
I feel
Arlen
like oh good.
we'll just look at it and say, very well. Well, we got some stuff to wrap up here, and then you could maybe tag along with us for a little while, and we can uh, see what kind of information you got locked away in that noggin.
He taps the crown of the stag skull right sort of between the antlers. Puts a finger knowingly up to where the nose would be and stands up and backs away.
Say, what was all that jingling in the gourd?
Uh, I don't really know. I just sort of found the gourd, so whatever was in it, I mean, it's yours if you want it. The gourd and whatever's in it. I think a coin fell out before. Didn't I? I thought I
Yeah,
one of you
we
a
Yeah,
coin.
yeah.
Probably just more copper coins.
I use a mage hand to pick it up and shake it out.
Sure enough, there are 3 more copper coins and 1 large gold coin that fall out.
When you say large gold coin, is it a gold piece or
Yeah, I mean,
an
just
unusual
normal
coin? Okay.
gold piece, sorry. Normal sized gold coin.
I pick up the coins and toss them to Court.
he starts juggling them,
Hell yeah.
even though they're tiny.
Sort of like, what now? What do
I
what did
believe His
I, like
Majesty has mentioned formation of a parliament.
Yeah. So, first things first, killing people is illegal again. Regardless of why you're doing it. And you don't get to be king if you do it. Uh, we're gonna set up a little bit of a cabinet. Uh, so yeah, like, gonna rule this place together instead of however you did it before.
I know some of those words, I guess. Uh, we could hear me out. If you're gonna be king, but you got places to go and stuff. We and he gestures between himself and Illig together could be like uh stewards of your spot here. Won't take the
Yeah, like
seat.
Secretary of Treasury and Secretary of State kind of thing.
Uh, I guess, yeah, if that's what a secretary does, sure. I was gonna go with steward, but
I mean, steward sounds nice.
Wait, who did he point to when he said we?
himself and Illig, the Baron,
Um, I always forget her name. What's her name? Our night friend.
Morgort.
I point at her and say,
Wait.
My liege, I kind of want to put her in charge.
See, that's the thing. Like, everybody who wants to be in charge of something gets to be in charge of something.
Alrighty.
Morgort could be like, I don't know, the steward of defense. You're in charge of like the city watch and the armies and stuff.
Okay. I can keep an eye on the nightly orders.
And then we set up a really solid, structured parliament of court and judicial system and democratic system, and it's great.
And it's so perfect, and they're never going to have any problems in the government ever again.
Yeah.
You go through a painstakingly slow process of getting them to understand that the monarchy is if not over completely, definitely transitioning into a figurehead. At some point, they seem to catch on that, wait, so we're still going to be in power, but because it's distributed, we don't necessarily have to die? Okay, this can work. And like I said, the process is slow going. There are occasionally moments where it looks like Gullop and Illig might come to blows. A couple of times, the knights have to get in between them. At one point, Morgort just sort of punches Illig when Illig goes for a weapon, and they argue. But come morning, and not well, I mean, morning as much as morning exists here. Uh, some of you have perhaps fallen asleep as the arguing continues, but they seem to accept the change that is going to be instituted here in the Soggy Court, or at least they seem to have come to some sort of agreement that maybe a system where they both die is not what they're after.
Well,
Eventually,
that took much longer than it needed to.
Ugh.
You got to get these things right.
Do you? I mean,
Yes.
we got to get them done, but right, who is to say, really?
Well, who knows? Maybe this whole system is just going to blow up anyways. I think that's not going to be our problem after we leave. So,
I mean,
sayonara.
You
right,
say
these
this 12
things-
hours later.
Yeah, these things all fall apart eventually.
If you don't mind my asking, Clapperclaw sort of stands up and very awkwardly with his crab claws dusts off his pants. Where are you going? Perhaps you need a guide. Or I mean, I've traveled here in hither for long enough. I can take you a wide variety of places. Or where are you headed?
We actually seek to leave this fraction of the land in Prismia. That would be our next place, our next objective, yes?
Yeah, we got to track down the next, the coven.
You're going after the coven. Oh my, oh my.
They stole the wrong rabbit's foot.
Oh. Okay. I know the way, but I'm afraid unless you can all well, we'll need to go above the mist. The mist is what traps everyone in here. And Morgort, the just suddenly alert and excited, pushes past Gullop and Illig, to whom she has been speaking. You need, you need, you need a balloon. I can take you,
Oh,
please.
Oh, what incredible fortune for us.
Yes, for you. Certainly not a way to get away from my newfound responsibilities. Not at all.
of course not.
Not the things that I have been honored with. Oh no. Well, no. Truthfully, I do need to return. If nothing else, in gratitude for everything you have done here, I cannot desert the honor and the responsibility that you have given me. But if I can repay you, then I would be happy to do so. I mean, there are other ways, but the balloons can get you above the mist, and I do very much enjoy piloting them. If you think you can trust these two, and she irately sort of hooks a thumb over her shoulder at Illig and Gullop, who are
Oh,
very
not so far as we could
animatedly
throw them.
speaking to each other.
Regardless, we cannot stay to maintain their governance for them, so I am personally for abandoning this place to whatever sort of chicanery and governmental mishap may ensue and continue on with bigger picture items on our list.
Yes, as Hemlock said, we have nothing but the utmost faith in the leadership that you two will instill when working together. And we will be back before you know it, for we love this place as if it were our own homeland.
I don't remember him like saying that part.
Yeah, you know, tomato, potato.
Hey, are we gonna get to take that really cool balloon that's got like the storm in it?
Oh, they left. Uh, that's Charm's wares. That's they're not part of the court. They were visiting.
Okay, lame.
Do you know what or who Charm is?
The proprietor, yes. I mean, her business is not very frequented among members of the court. Frankly, their wares are, well, they leave much to be desired, and the costs are always very high.
A tradesman,
Vendor.
vendor of artifacts, spells, curses.
All of, well, I mean, mostly just. There's a word for hodgepodge, mostly just a hodgepodge of things that they find. Sometimes they have the occasional item with some sort of trick to it, but mostly they sell the things that they can find. It's I don't know, if it wasn't for their um, if it wasn't for their balloon allowing them to travel from shard to shard, I imagine that they wouldn't have much business. But I think they sort of take from one shard and sell to another.
See. Well, perhaps we may yet encounter them again, and perhaps they have information that we can purchase.
Perhaps, although excuse me, they're very tight-lipped with what's going on in the other places. I mean, that's part of why That's part of why no one here shops there. Is well, I'm sure you've seen how much this court loved gossip, and they've provided none. Perhaps for the right price, though.
Do we have any sort of looks around another balloon, or else do you know where one can be found? I suppose that balloon maker's shop. It was on fire, wasn't it? Kind of grimaces.
I mean, the factory was destroyed, and Morgort sort of looks around a little guilty. Yes, that was destroyed, but I'm sure the makers were repairing a balloon. I'm sure it's done by now. And you do remember that when you all arrived here, there were a pair of bullywugs who were very carefully stitching together the flaps of burlap and corduroy that made up the giant balloon of one of these swamp balloons here.
Well then, friends, is there any other business that we might have in Downfall before we proceed with our adventure?
Mm,
Banner will lean in to Hemlock and whisper, um, what should we do with the book? And he points to the Bevlornus tome.
I don't recall if I've ever looked at it. I'm going to cast Detect Magic real quick.
The magic or the magic. The book is not magic. It is.
Have we looked
I
inside of it
actually
yet?
have to double check this. Give me 1
Okay.
second. I don't believe the book is magic.
Gang, did we look inside it?
I don't remember.
Banner has not.
Yeah, nobody, as far as I'm aware, has actually flipped through this book yet. It was given to you by King Gullop to return
Mhm.
to return to Bavlorna.
Right.
And no, the book is not magic.
Well, perhaps we should see what it is, yes?
Yeah. I'll hand it over.
We've got quite a few things that we need to see what they are, I think.
Well, perhaps
Yes.
we should.
But we spent the evening setting up a government, remember?
Perhaps we should
And it
take
was
some time.
very fruitful and productive. I mean, I guess we could, while we fly, we can set up a little bit of a, identification station.
I'll flip through Bevlorna's book here.
The book is written in the book is written in Sylvan, which I don't remember if you know or not. I know Arlen, you do.
I do not, but I will lower the book from my two shorter friends who I assume understand Sylvan, even though I know Court doesn't.
I do not know.
Yeah. So that they may see it.
Yeah, okay. I know some of these words.
And penned in a very rigid and scratchy hand in the Sylvan language. The title of the book is The Big Book of Bad Blood. Flipping through the pages, it is essentially a detailed account of everyone with whom Bavlorna Blightstraw had bad blood. Anyone that crossed her, anyone that did not seem to give her the respect she felt was due. And in many cases, the pages are there's a detail of the individual, and then uh, at the bottom of the page is some sort of curse that was visited upon these individuals. Indeed, at the back of the book, that one of the very last entries is King Gullop the 19th. This I gotta stay out of Discord.
Sorry.
And at the back of the book is King Gullop the 19th, and a fairly hot rant about how this idiot let Talavar escape from one of her gilded cages with that stupid knight. I'm going to have Bloody Toes prepare his legs for me. And there is a sort of detailed description of exactly the recipe to be used, or that should have been used. There are accounts from a number of individuals. None of the names mean a whole lot until there are two other entries that sort of stand out. One says, "My sister Endelyn, how dare she have that god awful story about me? She'll see. I've taken her cat." And the other is, "Old Scabatha thinks that just because she's the eldest sister, that she knows everything everything that's going on, as though she is the hag of the present. That's me. Well, well, I have one of her caps. She'll never get it back. And this one will never, ever be happy again."
One of her caps. I don't know what that is, but never be happy again? Is that Octavian?
It might be the hat that I gave you.
Oh. Oh, cap, hat. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Maybe the red cap?
Oh.
Oh, and I mean, yeah, that cap was not allowed to murder, so that means they would never be happy again.
Ooh.
Is really any way to discern that meaning until we meet, dear? What did you call her?
Scabatha. Sorry.
Oh, I
I
got
put
that.
it
I
in
was
there.
waiting for
Okay.
Arlen to say it.
See, Arlen did not. Arlen did catch it. Tyler did not.
Oh, okay.
Tabitha?
Scabatha.
Scabatha.
I put it in chat. And
Kind
the
Oh,
other
of
one is
wrinkles his
Scabatha.
nose. Charming.
Well, Hemlock, you want to start identifying all this stuff?
You can curse. I'm not your mother.
Well, there's not really a need to, I just...
um, well, I suppose that a few of you can go and arrange for the balloon, and I can stay here. And he looks around at all of the other frogs.
Well, I mean, I'd offer to help, but, like, there's no real reason to use the scrolls right now if we don't have to, I guess. Save those for whenever we need to identify something quickly, and we don't want to use your resources.
He nods. I'll begin then, and you can all arrange for the balloon.
Morgort speaks up. I can see to the balloon. I know what needs to be done.
Oh, thank God.
Uh, you all can. I'm trying to think of how long it's been since your actual long rest. That was this morning. You traveled here, did everything here in the court. Yeah, it's probably getting, especially after the extensive parliamentary session. We'll put it that way.
Mhm.
Uh, it's been a while since your rest. You all can get a long rest in while the balloon is prepared. Um, oh boy, let me see if I can remember what items you need identified.
I can list them for you. The ones that we still need identified. You gave us the um potions already, so
Okay.
we know that we have one of growth, one of shrink, and then one of shit. It's in the journal. Um,
Invisibility.
yes, thank you. Um, uh, we just have the broken wishbone, the jeweled. I'll wait. I'll wait. Tell me when you wait.
No, keep going
Okay.
because those
Uh,
two are gonna be weird.
okay. Okay. The jeweled helmet.
The jeweled helm is a helm of telepathy.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's a little
Um,
better looking than the exposed brain here, but
Mhm.
I hate this art so much. um, uh, the dark wooden eye.
okay, I've got to look up identify. Hold on. Sorry, I should have looked up this spell.
Identify will not tell us if there's a curse, if that's what you want to know.
Yep.
Well,
It's
you can't
not.
just tell
It's
us
not.
that.
But, uh, okay. Okay. So the wishbone. Let me. If those are the last two, the wishbone and the
Mhm,
eye.
mhm.
The eye has divination magic on it, and um, the the magic that created it was a. Oh God! Wait, no, I might be giving you the wrong eye. So sorry, I had this and now I've lost it. Okay, the eye. There's essentially a dual function to this eye. It serves as a a scrying focus for one, um, for the use of the scry spell.
Mhm.
Serves as a material component for it. This is a hag's eye, but it is not the kind that a coven would make together. This is an individual hag's seeing device. Um, it, it is magical, but it doesn't have any actual magic properties of its own. It doesn't do anything on its own. Its creation is an act of magic. It itself is an act of magic, and it serves to funnel further magic, sort of like, say, an arcane focus would.
Mhm.
but this one is considerably more powerful.
Um, would it be correct to assume that this is a prosthetic specifically, or is it just an object?
Uh, it could certainly serve as a excuse me, as a prosthetic, yes.
Okay.
The wishbone. There is a bit of, I believe I said evocation magic, on this on the two pieces of this wishbone. It is magic similar to, say, a magic mouth or a sending spell. Um, the item is it's currently broken. To activate the item, you just put the wishbone back together, and whatever spell is stored within it will trigger.
Hmm. I think that this may be a device to possibly speak with one of the other sisters, or else someone else Pavlorna had no interest in speaking with anymore.
Ooh, let's try it.
What now?
Yeah, why not?
All right. He'll try to put the two pieces together.
The you put the two jagged breaks of the bone together, and there is a flash of sort of greenish smoke as the wishbone refuses, and a a burst of magical energy is released from the entirety of the bone, in sort of the shape of the wishbone, which floats up to your head, Hemlock, and you hear a sort of whispered, croaking voice that sounds somewhat familiar. My sister's greatest weakness. Whoever she sees first, she forgets for the entire day. They are invisible to her. And then the sound is gone.
What a curious bit of, quite frankly, very important information.
Did we all hear that or just Hemlock?
Just Hemlock.
I'm assuming that voice was Bavlorna.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure it's not like, oh, it sounded kind of like her, but it could have been anyone.
No. No, it was
Okay.
definitely the same voice as the person that was murdered less than 24 hours ago.
Um, it spoke some sort of odd message. It's saying, as Bavlorna, that one of her sisters has some sort of curse or effect on her. Um, Whoever she sees first within the day, she forgets, and they are invisible to her.
Whoa, inconvenient for her.
Deeply, considering we apparently have the intention of killing her, one of us could deeply take advantage of that, and kind of raises his eyebrows.
Yeah, yeah.
Was there anything else that needed to be identified? I think that was it.
That was it. Yes.
Okay.
Well, I see it appears as if you are done with the trinkets that we have found, yes?
Oh yes, yes.
Uh, would you mind if I don't know, it's, I mean, I have seen many things and many people in my life, but I do not know that I have ever seen an individual make the kind of transformation that you make. It is curious.
Oh, yes, yes. Sorry, I did not mean to be dismissive of your inquiries earlier. Um,
Oh, well, there
yes,
was no time, but it seems that we have nothing but time now.
um, yes. Well, you see, some time ago, at my birth, my mother and father had the dreadful misfortune of a difficult pregnancy. My mother has a unique ability to alter her appearance in completion. It is remarkable and has served her in many ways. But that has that evidently complicated some aspects of my birth. And when I was born, there was no heartbeat, and it took no small amount of magic. My father is actually quite an immaculate practitioner of both magic and medicine, but even he this evaded some. They he managed to breathe life back into me, but it was perhaps not as it should be. My family has a unique, should we say, connection with some higher powers, and uh, after a fashion, an arrangement was made between them and this entity for a small price. They were able to return me to life, um, as much as you see me. Uh, although um, when I was younger, it happened more and more frequently and without power of will, but I found myself fading in and out of the realm of the living. Um, Now I can do it with control. They gave me instruction and instructors to assist me, and uh, I understand now better ways to manipulate it to prevent my more appropriate untimely demise. Um, but it is still, I understand that it is alarming.
Well, it is certainly unusual. I don't know if, well, perhaps maybe a little off, maybe a little alarming, but it really just takes a bit of getting used to, and I don't see that you are any less alive than any of our other traveling Romagnons. This family, the agreement your family has with the higher power, this is what has the higher power has given you the information to control this ability or it at will.
Well, no. In fact, there was uh, a, should we say, priest of a sort that frequented our estate, who was
Mm,
more more educated than we were. He was the one who taught me.
I see, but the so what is it that your family has agreed to with this higher power?
And it is sort of twofold. My mother, after particularly after the events at my birth, became, I think obsessed is the correct word, with ensuring health and prosperity for her family and eternity as well. She, she would. She spoke often of the achievable immortality, and she met my father in her pursuit of that. um, I think the delicacy of my state only exacerbated the issue. She seeks to ensure that I, my sister, my father, and her never die. Um, and this is something she had searched for some time before I was born, before she met my father. And I believe it was just simply a reward for her fealty that I was granted breath.
And what is it your family owes this higher power? Is that why you're being chased at the carnival?
Um, he closes the book that's in front of him, which he had been using for his rituals. I was being pursued because this here, and he puts his hand on the cover, he's a very powerful artifact that my family found. It should help them find their way to greater artifacts of the Whispered One. Powerful objects that should aid in their quest for immortality. And I am aware of the magic that is within this tome. I have researched it my entire adult life. And it has never sat well with me, this pursuit. And when it became clear that perhaps it was closer to their grasp than I could possibly have imagined, I took it and fled. That is what brought me to the carnival.
I see. So it is, at its core, a family disagreement. Your parents have one objective with the book and you have another.
Yes.
Then I suppose we should ensure that they do not get their hands on the book.
Yes, at all costs.
Very well, well. As long as we are traveling together, I will assist you in keeping the book from them.
He nods. And it may prove even more difficult than it has thus far. Leaving the material plane has put some considerable distance between us, but with my mother's ability to hide herself in plain sight and my sister's sufficiently more apt arcane skill, should either of them find me, I do not know how well of a chance I might stand.
Banner just sort of looks around. I think that our chances are quite good. We seem to be very skilled, and every day I am remembering more and more. So I like our chances in any skirmish or squabble.
Sorry. You said remembering?
Ah, yes. I have not been a chess player for very long. I was a great military leader at one point, but it was long ago and I have forgotten much. But running around with you here in this place and being engaged in the more and more fisticuffs, it is all coming back to me.
Oh.
Oh. Where were you enlisted?
Well, it was one of the 30 great bannerets of the Amaska Empire. Far, far, far to the east of where we first met.
That is incredible.
It is a history. We all have one.
And what brought you to chess?
Well, I served the Empire as long as the Empire existed. It then fell, and I spent some time wandering around with my expertise. There was a lot of hired henchmen type work, but it was boring and pointless, as I find most large-scale endeavors to be. It is silly, but in my wandering, I found Harold, and we started traveling together. He introduced me to chess, and it has all of the sort of strategic elements of war, with none of the silly bloodshed or dying.
Hmm.
So,
I hope we can find your friend and bring you some peace.
yes, it would be very nice to see his face again. To that end, should we get in the balloon? See how Morgoth is faring?
Yes, I think so.
Court very quickly takes both of your guys' hands and just gives it a quick little squeeze with his little gloves. That's it.
Thank you, Court.
So, who wants the weird mind reading helmet?
I mean, it's quite the effective tool. I think any one of us might make good use of it.
I don't know that I would make such good use of it, to be honest. And in fact, it would be quite a detriment when I play the chess.
Yeah, it wouldn't really be fair.
But
Hemlock?
you'd win every time.
I mean, Hemlock, do you think you probably make, I feel like you'd be the one to use it intelligently?
I will take that as a compliment. That said, and he retrieves the pearl of power. As useful as this is, perhaps then someone else should take advantage of this item. I would feel terrible about having the lion's share of the reward that we've collected so far.
Well, why?
Because most of us can make use of all of them, and I just feel as if it's only fair.
Okay.
Trying to think of what items I even actually have. I'd be happy to take the Pearl of Power.
I'll let you take it since we have third level slots. So
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, I'll give you that, and I'll take a Helm of Telepathy.
All right.
Ah, that
Oh.
pearl, it looks fantastic. I should definitely take it.
Oh, I need to do my spirit session.
Spirit as
Sorry,
in
what?
rah-rah? Three cheers for the king?
Not
Oh, I
quite.
could go for one of those.
No, I mean we could do that too, I guess. Basically, like, if there's like something that we need to like know or some skill that we should have, for the day, I can do kind of like a little seance to like, find a spirit or a ghost that can teach me how to do something that might be useful that I wouldn't know how to do otherwise.
Would your seance be able to tell us which sister Bevlona was talking about?
No, it's really nothing quite like that. I mean, I might be able to use this seance to teach me how to do that kind of seance.
How about I mean, I know Morgoth is with us, but I'm sure they could use some assistance. Perhaps learning how to fly the balloon?
Well, it's more like something that lets me learn how to do some magic that I didn't know how to do.
Fascinating. I don't believe you ever really shared if there is any reason that the occult has spoken to you as it has.
Well, I mean, after the whole thing where my foot was taken from me, I didn't know what happened, and the fact that I still have this like ghostly version of a foot that I can stand on, I was very convinced that it was a ghost that took it from me. So I spent a lot of time studying and playing with like Ouija boards and stuff like that, and got very good at it after a time. And now I know that it wasn't a ghost that stole my foot, but still, like, it was worth it, I guess. I mean, I really like stories, and dead people tell really good stories.
Agreed.
Yes, your stories are quite powerful.
So yeah, I can basically spend an hour doing a ritual, and the number of willing creatures that join the ritual determine like how high a level the spell I can take is. So right now my upper limit is 3, but so if at least a couple of y'all join the ritual with me, I can learn up to a 3rd level spell that is divination or necromancy, and it becomes a spell that I know for the rest of the day.
Well, yeah, I'll sit in.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I don't know what spell I want to do, but I will look them up. This is a way that I could like take Revivify, but we don't have any diamonds anyways. But yeah.
You can grab your spell. Your your evening's rest and conversation with each other is eventually interrupted at what feels sort of like maybe midday. Who knows here in Prismere? When Morgort finds you all in one of the huts that you have been given, essentially one of the parts of the palace, which now falls to to the new king of the Soggy Court. All of the courtiers that were there when you all were getting dressed and all of that have been ushered out, and eventually Morgort comes to find you. The balloon has been supplied as much as it can be and is being filled. The balloon portion itself is being filled with the swamp gas from here in hither, which uh, gives it its lift. Now, I just want to be clear. I can, from what I've heard from Clapperclaw here, who knows the way and the direction and everything that we should be traveling, I can get you to thither. I can't, I cannot pilot you uh, all over the the area. There is simply not enough of this. But by the time I get down, you understand, there's nowhere there for me to restock the balloon. So once I have set you down, I must I must return here as soon as possible with
That is
just
fine. Getting us there should be more than sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
Clapperclaw has offered, of course, his services to you. If you like, perhaps he might know the way around thither a little bit.
I go get him.
He sort of peeks out from behind Morgorth's legs, nods his little stag skull head. Happy to help however I can. So, if you are all ready, we can begin the journey. It will take several hours, maybe even a day. It's hard to say exactly. I don't know how high we have to go over and she rattles off a bunch of ballooning jargon that really doesn't. Who knows what she's saying. She seems to realize that she has been rambling about balloon specifics. Oh, uh, apologies, Your Majesty. If whenever you're ready, the balloon is at your disposal.
Look at Arlen.
Well, let's hit the road or the gusts of wind.
You follow Morgort back over to the shore that greeted you the very first time you came in here to Downfall. The large canvas and burlap balloon has been completely stitched back together. There are none of the open flaps and leaks of gas that you saw when you were first arriving here. It is currently floating about a foot or so off the ground, tethered to the ground by a number of ropes tied to heavy stakes driven into the ground. It has a number of smaller, think like a Yogi Bear picnic basket with like the foldable lid strapped to the outside. The basket itself is fairly large. Even with the 6 of you, including Clapperclaw, 7 if you include the cat, um, which I'm assuming you're bringing the cat.
Yeah.
My cat and my bat. Yes.
The basket is still fairly I mean, it's close. Like it's not huge, but it's probably a good 5 feet to a side square. So, um, with all the supplies strapped to the outside, all of um, the remaining area of the balloon is available for you. And once everybody has climbed in, the ropes are cut, and the balloon rises fairly steadily and reasonably quickly into the skies, and you find yourselves floating above Downfall, the ring of mist that fills the lake surrounding Bavlorna's cottage. Well, the cottage formerly owned by Bavlorna eventually falls away behind you and below you, becoming just a dot the size of a copper piece on the sort of murky blue that is the lake. You sail. You begin to sail in what is presumably. I mean, it's hard to gauge direction, given that there is no sun travel or anything like that. But Clapperclaw and Morgort converse a few times, and um, Clapperclaw continues to point, and every once in a while, Morgort will pull on some of the strings, not strings, ropes attached to the balloon, and you will. That's right, I forgot about that. You are headed east, as much as you are able to reckon. Your keen sense of direction, um, which admittedly has been a little strange here in
No,
the
I am
world of
sorry.
Mistware.
This will not work at all. I only travel west.
For a long time below you, the world of Hither passes below you. It does this process does take hours. The you multiple times become hungry, and then, well, 3 of you become hungry, some more than others, as you float over the land of Hither. You can see far below you the massive tree stump that is Brigand's Tollway, or was Brigand's Tollway, and is what was once a sort of sparsely populated series of catwalks with just a few tents making up a camp um, on top of the stump. Already you can see that a number of individuals are making their way towards the stump with large parcels and uh, bundles in their arms. There are uh, m- multiple skiffs that begin to find their way to the edges of the walkways, even onto the ones where not so long ago you defeated Agden Longscarf. Blue Scarf? Agden Longscarf. Had it right the first time. Why do I doubt myself? You sail over the sort of murky river. You can see Telemy Hill walking back away from Slanty Tower. You can see um, the inn at the end of the road has settled down not far from Brigand's Tollway, on one of the far east piers. But eventually, the wall of mist begins to loom closer and closer and closer. A thick white fog that you would expect, like any cloud, to be airy and wet, but this has a very strange resistance to it. Almost as though the clouds are fighting your passage through the skies. And every now and then, Claw has to sort of climb up onto the basket and shout some new directions over to Morgort, who once again yanks on some rope every once in a while, muttering darkly about the amount of gas that they're using. But you do move, and it does, even if it seems to slow, eventually through the thick white fog, which has completely enveloped the balloon to the point where you're not even sure what is beyond you. For all you know, this balloon could be about to crash into one of the many dark and jagged peaks that you saw from the ground. Eventually, the clouds begin to lighten, and the same sort of twilight skies make their way back into your vision. The ground below you here is noticeably different. The ground here, the grounds of hither were marshy and green, brown green, like muddy and brackish. Here, there are a number of thick mountain, not really ranges, but areas of mountains. But the majority of the ground below you is invisible, hidden behind a very thick canopy of tree branches. A dark green, very ancient looking verdant forest. Welcome, everyone, to thither.
All right.
Not token layer. To put that on the map layer. Many of the areas here seem ancient, is probably the word that would best describe this. The mountains are every mountain feels like a paragon of its kind, with bands of different rock as numerous peaks and crags make their way into the sky, some reaching up into the same mists that you yourselves are breaking out of. The rivers that wind sparkle. These are brilliantly blue, absolutely stunning, especially coming from the slow and brackish waters that you were dealing with in hither. Morgort comes to the edge of the basket and sort of looks around. Well, I'll have to find a clearing. I don't think. I don't assume you're going to jump into the trees. I could try a mountain if you'd like, but you'd have to find your own way down. Would save some gas, I suppose.
We can jump. We jumped when we got here, right? We did that?
Yeah, but we had a lot of things that made us able to fly and stuff. I mean, I don't think that we can all do that now. I certainly can't fly.
Jumping. No, it really is no trouble to put down. I mean, small trouble. We'll need to find a clearing, perhaps one of those small ones there. He points sort of vaguely to one of the many, probably 20 between 20 and 60 feet wide clearings, none of which are very large. Like I said, this balloon is about 5, or the basket is about 5 feet on its side, so the balloon is uh, considerably larger.
I, I presume that whatever you think would be easier, whether one of the clearings is easier because it is on the ground, or if you think there's a plateau on one of these mountains that would make life easier for you. You have done us a great service as it is.
I have done nothing more than repay the service you have done to both myself and to the Soggy Court. I mean, you saved me from a trial by combat, and you saved Hither. Well, I mean, you saved the Soggy Court from itself.
Wonderful then. I, all things being equal, I would rather not have to navigate my way down a mountain. How about that clearing right there?
With the same sort of skill that has been demonstrated in getting you here, in getting through the the mist wreathed mountains, Morgort does set down inside what appears to be a large ring of mushrooms. A clear area about 35-ish feet wide, surrounded by toadstools. The balloon sets down with a thump, with a significant amount of gas being let out of the balloon to make you something wrong. No. The basket touches down, and Morgort immediately hops out and begins setting about driving a few stakes into the ground and tying ropes to some of the branches of the trees not far from this ring where you have set down. You may all exit. This should hold. Thank you all once again for everything that you have done. If you ever
Thank
are in
you.
hither, you are ever in hither, and you find yourself in need of the Knights of the Lily Pad, you have only to ask. And she gives a very, very stately bow. What do you hope to find here?
A foot.
Yes, afoot. And Harold.
And I mean, whatever you're missing, which I'm still unclear on.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Well, please take these. I need to lose some ballast so the balloon will go back up. And she hands each of you one of the wicker baskets, which you all are aware contain supplies, rations mostly. Good luck, and well, good luck. And as each of you have exited, and with the additional weight of the baskets removed, the rope that has been holding this balloon to one of the trees has gone tight, and she reaches down and slashes through it with a sword, and the basket begins to rise into the air. Clapperclaw, for his part, um, rubs his metal claws together with a very kind of uncomfortable grinding noise. Gives them a couple clicks, click, 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 click. All right, where are we going to now? Arlen,
Yes.
there is something about the sound of his claws clicking that is catching in your head. Just the clack, 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 clack. And it takes it a second, but you realize you're still hearing the sound. Tick, tick, click, 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 click. Even though he is no longer clicking his claws together. Sort of just at the edge of your hearing, a steady ticking noise has made its way into your mind. And it's a bit early, but I think that's where we're going to call it quick break. 15 minutes. Back at 10 till.
All right.
Oh.
Welcome back, everybody. You have landed in the realm, in the shard of Thither, in the realm of Prismere. You currently stand in a wide ring, a clearing within the trees that tower over you. A ring of 6-inch fish tall toadstools, sort of lines just the edge of the trees, seemingly serving as some sort of barrier. The sounds here in Thither are not entirely dissimilar from what you were hearing while you were in Hither. There are the calls of various birds, different in their tones and melodies, but bird calls all the same. The sounds of insects. Here, the sound of the flowing, murky water is replaced by the gentle rustle of tree branches and leaves, all of which are in vibrant green shades. There is no real carpet of leaves on the ground like you would normally expect. Um, in a forest like this, the ground is grass and scrub bushes, and not scrub bushes, small bushes and ferns and other greenery decorating the ground. Little creatures, squirrels and possums and all sorts of things dart among the branches, where many parts of Hither could feel abandoned or stale. Thither is the opposite. The an almost primordial feel, a fullness of life, which after so much time in the mangroves and the swamps of Hither is a definite change.
Do one of y'all have like an arcane egg timer going off in your bag, or
Hmm?
that like ticking noise? And you'll hear that noise, that like tick tick tick.
Nope.
Well, that's not good.
I am fairly certain that my thighs are not clicking together as I walk, but I will be more careful.
Ar- Ooh, Arlen. Well, cheese.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you hear something like that when your foot got taken?
I don't remember.
Because I heard croaks when my wings got taken. And in Hither, I just kept hearing those croaks.
That sounds very familiar.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you might be in luck, bud.
Man, if I'm gonna hear that ticking noise this whole time, that's gonna be, oh god.
Well, perhaps if your little friend sings in your ear, it will drown out the ticking.
Ooh.
Or just add to it.
Hemlock had a thing that kind of helped a little bit.
I suppose I could try it again if you'd like. No harm in
Yeah, I mean,
trying.
sure.
What's a pie?
So true.
He's saying trick or treat, what a surprise. I, I cast protection from evil and good on Arlen.
As the magic settles around you, the ticking noise begins to fade. It is quiet enough now that if you don't think about it, it can almost fade away in the sounds of the birds and the insects and the wind and the leaves rustling here.
Well, can you hear the ticking now, Alan?
Only if I try to.
Hey, Yahoo!
And how about now?
I mean, every time you ask, I try to, so...
I see. So perhaps I should stop asking. I understand.
Which way are we going?
Is there a big sign anywhere that says Hag's house this way?
Any maps?
Well, I mean that's why I'm here. If you're trying to get to the hag, it's awfully dangerous to go see Nightshade, but I can get you there. There's a I mean, it's
But
not a direct route,
do
but there
you know, is this the older or younger sister?
Skabatha is the oldest of the three.
Hmm.
My understanding is that her return to Prismere is fairly recent. There was some other business on the material plane, but somehow she's back. I don't really know. I didn't really ask. But if that's where you're headed, well, he knocks on his head. Get it? Head. This way. Yeah. This way. Do keep your eyes open. This is still a hag's domain.
Hey, Jabberjaw, you,
Clapperclaw.
yeah. Is there anything I can do for you? Eh? He, produces, some colorful balls and starts to juggle. Cheer you up, you seem ill at ease.
Well, Bavlorna not Bavlorna. Nightshade created me, you see.
Mm.
I had managed to get away to hither, but well, after knowing what you've done there, I'm confident now. I'm confident everything's gonna be fine.
You are you okay with us? You know, bleh, bleh. He slides a finger across his throat, sticks his tongue out dramatically. Is that, you know,
Am I okay with you removing a vile fey creature from what was once a beautiful realm?
I mean, it must be
Absolutely.
okay. Must be, I just check it. It must be a little bit complicated, mommy issues and all that.
Nope.
Whoa.
Wait, you say Nightshade. Is that like another name for Skabatha?
Skabatha Nightshade.
Ah.
Right, like Bavlorna
Blightstraw.
Slackjaw. Blightstraw. Where did Slackjaw come from?
That was a nickname for her. Nobody ever called that to her face because, she'd eat you.
Right.
This one likes to be called Granny. Granny Nightshade.
God damn it,
The rapidity of that response. Thank you.
Like, I was waiting for that shoe to drop, and I was like, better fucking not. You better not.
I mean, since you first said Nightshade, I've had a balled fist over here. Just angry.
I don't think we're high enough level to take on Granny Nightshade, guys.
Now, what could that possibly mean?
Well, let's just hope that there's a detour or two along the way.
You set through the forest of thither. Despite the denseness of the trees and and sort of the closeness of everything and how you would expect this to slow you, it's not any worse than trying to traverse the swamps. The ground doesn't pull at your boots. The water doesn't rise and fall. The rivers that you occasionally spot stay within their banks. And making your way, following Clapperclaw, who occasionally stops and sort of peers around as though orienting himself. You
That
travel.
way is north.
Okay. So, I mean, I know where I have a homing sense. I don't need your cardinal directions. Which way was like this way or
That
like a
way.
little more that thing?
Sorry, I know that I know this ability is useless here.
As you are walking, eventually the sounds of the forest around you begin to quiet, and eventually the birds have stopped, and the even the insects go silent. It almost seems as if the wind itself has stopped, and it kind of becomes a little apparent as directly in front of you there is a tr- I mean, I say a tree as though you are not in a forest, but this tree immediately stands out. Where all of the other trees here are lively and green and healthy, this gigantic gnarled oak tree that sort of sits not in a clearing, but the other trees there is definitely space around it. As it is significantly taller than the trees around it, and sort of uh, s- starving out competition. Where they all are green, this tree looks unhealthy. Patches of its bark have started to fall away, and its leaves have turned brown. In fact, these are the first leaves that you have actually seen on the ground since you have arrived and been traveling for the last few hours. Oddly enough, something in the leaves, there are 3 rusty sickles laying among the leaves. Not too dissimilar from a weapon you've seen before in Bavlorna's kitchen. Standing near each of these sickles, which are about 10 or so feet from the tree, standing near each sickle is a goat, bleeding and braying in clear anger and frustration as they sort of, not going far from their spots, sort of kick around and rear up and fall down on their legs. Each time they rear up, their eyes go towards and their head goes towards tiny little houses nestled in the branches of this giant oak tree. Little domiciles made of twigs, woven leaves, woven grass. And into and out of these little houses, a number of gray and red squirrels with tufted little ears dart in and out of these little wood, little branch and leaf houses.
Now, when you say gray and red, are some gray and some red, or are
Yes.
they gray and red?
Some are gray and some are red.
Thanks. That's really important.
Mhm.
Hmm.
What's all this then?
As as you speak, um, popping out of a little hole in the leaf that makes a window, you see the tiny little head of pixies. There are three of them. One in each in different houses, each in one of the 8 houses. Um, oh, please don't kill the goats. If you do, they'll just turn into those things again.
Oh,
You tell?
Little 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 imps with their hats and their boots. They've come to they came to harvest, well, our friends. And the pixie gestures towards one of the squirrels. Um, we don't really know what to do, so we just turned them into goats. And
clever.
unfortunately,
The,
it'll wear off, and there will be. I mean, we can do it again, again, and again, but we can't make them leave.
well, perhaps we should, if it is at all possible, if we can change. Well, you said if we hurt one of the goats, it will change back. Is that correct?
Mhm. Correct.
Well, perhaps we should change one back and ask them what they are doing, and perhaps we can convince them to leave.
Uh, okay, I can I can end the spell on that one. They gesture to the
Well,
one closest.
Wait. First, let's try to shoo him. Shoot! Get out of here, goat! Shoot!
The goat rears up on its hind legs and tries to headbutt you.
I dart out of the way up into the air. I said, shoot! No dice. All right.
perhaps we should tie it up before it changes back in case it is dangerous.
Ooh, good idea.
Well, you all handled the one in Bavlorna's hut. Feel as if one at a time at least they should not pose a real threat.
Oh, it is the same as the angry little one from the kitchen.
They described
Oh.
an imp, and these appear to be the same utensils.
Didn't that one have a knife?
It had a long cleaver similar to these, um, similar to the
I
weapons that you see.
I
And
would like to use some rope and tie this goat's 4 legs together.
Whoa, rodeo style.
That's right.
Um, it is going to resist this.
Yeah.
However, I'm as much as I want to say something dumb like make an athletics check. It's a goat, so I don't think that there is a real good chance of this goat beating you on this athletics check.
Well, let's
But
just see if
you know what?
I.
We'll try.
Right.
We'll see.
We'll see if I critical fail on it. And
Has Banner done much mutton busting in the past?
Yeah. Okay. So apparently
Don't
the
know
answer
it.
to
It's
that
difficult to
question is
recall.
yes.
Ah,
Is that what it's
yes. When
called?
those years as I heard there.
Is it really called mutton busting?
It is now.
I mean, mutton busting is an event at rodeos where kids would go and like wrestle a little baby sheep to the ground
My God.
and like tie him up.
Right. Thank you. I'm obsessed with this piece of knowledge.
This map, but I'm going to drag you over to it, and then I will remember to get your characters. Oh, 1 second. Dynamic lighting. Mushroom ring. It should be dark for everybody because I haven't put your tokens on. Because I am struggling to find my player character folder.
It's at the bottom.
Yeah. And there we go. You should all be able to see. I'm going to
Nope.
drag you off and drag you back on. Oh God, what have I done? I moved my maps around. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Oh,
Oh,
whoa, okay.
Saw for a split second.
Mm-hmm.
I saw nothing, so. Know that,
But-
Ted.
No, you're on the mushroom. It's map, dynamic lighting on, save settings. Why did your vision came undone?
Mhm.
I don't even know that we have our tokens on the map.
They're definitely on the map. I see them.
Are they on the right layer?
April 20. No, they are not. Give me one. I'm trying not to cry. It's fine.
Oh,
Everything's
Ted.
fine.
Ted, I'm so sorry.
I put them on the map layer background. How's that?
Oh.
I selected them and then I moved to the map layer token without sending them to the object or to the token layer.
There we go.
Hey, here we go.
Oh, that's pretty.
All right, I found one new way to mess the maps up. Put you on the map layer. Got
That
it.
is pretty.
Mushrooms.
Awesome.
Goats.
You grab this goat and begin to try to tie it up. It is doing its damnedest to headbutt you in the meantime. I don't feel the need to. It's just I'm not going into initiative because you're going to tie up this goat, and
Right.
that feels like I'd go into initiative just to drop back out of initiative. You do successfully tie up this goat, which shortly after, when you sort of, I guess, signal or just say all set, turns back into. You see the pixie sort of wave a hand and dismiss the magic. And this hogtied goat turns into a hogtied red cat. It's very similar to Bloody Toes that you met in Bavlorna's kitchen. A long white mustache, thick iron shod boots, and it is scrambling, trying to escape from these bonds. It looks up at you with little bloodshot red eyes and broken teeth. And begins to sort of yell at you. Just, oh, let me out! Let me out! Give me my blade. Let me out of here.
Emlock, you are correct. It is very much like the one that we killed so very easily, except that one was not tied up. Hello, how are you?
You see him begin to sort of strain at his bonds. Surprisingly, this little dude looks a little wired. Like he's the rope is definitely straining.
Now,
Gonna get out.
I'm going to hold an action to stomp on his head if he breaks free of those ropes.
Like you were saying.
Are you a servant of Scabatha?
It stops wiggling for just a second, narrows its eyes at you. Yeah, we are. You better let us out, or there'll be hell to pay.
Sure. And what is it that you're doing here? And what might be your name? What might be your name?
Tad looking up the name.
What? No. He does his best to sit up in the dirt and stares up at you. Red caps need to red their caps.
Ah, I see. Well, that
Need-
will not be happening.
It has to happen, or Dunter dies, and I'm not about to die.
Are you sure? Like, are you completely sure?
He just narrows his eyes at you, but says nothing.
It occurs to me that you might not know who we are, but we are Bavlorna Blightstraw's executioners, and for your own safety, it might be best if you stop fighting.
He settles in place. Don't know who that is.
Does the name Bloody Toes ring a bell?
Bloody Toes. Before my time, I've heard about her. She was, reddest cap there was.
Not
Deadest.
anymore.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. I believe you. Such valiant slayers of hags. Gotta keep little old Dunter tied up. Right.
Look, I mean, as it stands, like, we could just take you out one by one, because your other pals are goats. Like, you don't have much room for negotiation here.
If you want to fight, we can fight, but alternatives.
Yeah.
I know another way to make your cap red.
Will others like you come after these fair folk?
Red caps all over this forest.
Excellent. I suppose, and he sort of turns to everyone else, that we just do away with him and his friends while we have the opportunity and give the pixies some reprieve.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they aren't going to kill here, they're going to go somewhere else and kill something else.
Well, then we have a lot of walking to do and a lot that we can do along the way.
Yeah. We'll eventually get to the source, right? Which is, Miss Granny Nightshade herself.
I am terribly sorry, Dante. It appears that today is not your day. And I would like to stomp on his head.
we are going to go into initiative because he is going to try to avoid getting his head stomped.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Really? Huh.
Shocker.
Man, I really thought this would be a no initiative kind of thing. Just stomp.
I'm just gonna kill him. Easy peasy.
I forgot we were playing D&D.
Oh, Banner.
Banner, not so good on the initiatives.
Banner, are you in full plate now?
I am.
Okay, good.
All right, Arlen, you are up first.
Oh boy. I am going to just cast a little mind sliver at this red cap.
Intelligence save. That will not do it.
Okay. Actually, let me see.
How am I next in the order? I got a 7.
Actually takes an extra 6, so that's gonna be 9 damage instead of 3.
Okay.
Thanks to my spiritual focus. To add an extra d6 of damage.
Damn.
And then he has a negative d4 on the next saving throw it makes. And then I'm going to use my spirit tables, Bardic Inspiration, to roll on the spirit table. Spirit tables is a d8. A 7. Okie doke. And that's it for my turn. Well, I'm going to move over here.
Court.
I'm just gonna. Whoop-pew!
At our friend on the ground.
Yes, yes.
That will hit.
Woo!
That will
Ouch.
hurt. Jesus. That's 4 6s on the damage dice.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I tried to build this weapon myself. Sorry it's janky. Please feel free to
No,
correct it on my sheet.
no, it's right. I'm just you rolled 4 6s on the damage. This, like, you maxed your sneak attack and the weapon damage. God damn.
Wowie.
I mean, that bolt just thunks right into the middle of this red cap's chest, and he just sort of looks down at it like, ugh. Anything else? Movement, bonus action?
That is all.
Okay. Hemlock.
Oh wait, oh shit. Is my thing a No wait, I did that. Never mind. Isn't it sneak attack a bonus action or is it steady aim that's a bonus action? Either way.
Steady aim.
Steady aim's the bonus action.
Yeah, sneak
Okay.
attack you just get because Banner is standing right next to this guy and you don't have disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Okay. All done. Sorry.
Nope, not a problem.
Blast.
That'll hit. And with the whoomp of concussive energy into this red cap, he falls over backwards and goes still.
You're muted.
Oh, damn. Okay. Then I aim my wand at one of the goats, but I will not fire yet.
Okay. The goats, realizing what is in fact happening, let's see. They're just gonna cross charge. This is a very bizarre encounter, by the way. Everybody has these. The farther the both goats sort of size up and do the thing where they put their heads down and sort of back up a little bit and then come charging. One at Arlen and the other will be at you, and it's the second banner. That is going to hit you, Arlen. So you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage, and I need a strength saving throw, please. Okay, you're fine. You stay on your feet as this goat charges straight into you. 17 will clunk into you, Banner, but not do anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's our goats.
Okay. I am going to move over here, and now I'm going to describe what I'd like to do, and you tell me, A, if it's at all possible, and B, if it is, what you'd like me to roll. I would like to grab this goat by the horns and swing him into this goat.
Make an athletics check to grab the goat first.
Okay.
This feels somewhat... yeah, you have successfully grappled the goat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to treat this as an improvised weapon attack.
Okay.
But instead of the typical D4 for an improvised weapon, well, your unarmed strikes are what, a D8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just
Well, make an improvised weapon attack, so it'll basically be a strength check, no proficiency bonus, unless you have Tavern Brawler, which you do. So
Which I
it's a
do.
strength attack
Okay.
because improvised weapons.
You're right. So it's just the same as my normal attack.
Mm-hmm. That will hit a goat.
Okay.
So
That's the plus 5 for my strength modifier. So if you want to take that off, it's just a 3.
No.
Okay.
I just wanted the hit roll because
Gotcha.
the damage of smashing these two goats together.
Mhm.
So it turns out goats have 4 hit points.
Okay.
So-
Oh boy.
Regardless of damage, that's enough to if these were normal goats, just everyday regular goats,
Right.
that would end both of these goats almost
Mhm.
certainly. Just as easy as making 2 unarmed strikes would do. So I figure grapple and strike for the damage on both. I
Okay.
probably would have amped up the damage a little more than your standard like
Mhm.
unarmed strike, but they've got 4 hit points with your strength
Right.
bonus. The damage to both of the goats, as we know, the polymorph effect ends, and you are
Mhm.
left grappled onto one of the 2 red caps.
Mhm.
Swap out the goats here. Who is quite stunned and more than a little bruised, and I just deleted them from the initiative.
Oh no.
They're right before me.
Yeah. Looking more than a little stunned. Oops. The guy that you slammed him into is not nearly as dazed by the whole thing, but is still a little worse for wear of having a goat slammed into him.
Okay. I'm going to push my luck a little bit. So the grapple was an action and the attack was, the grapple was one attack and the swinging of the goat, was that the other attack? So do I still have a bonus action?
Correct.
Great. I'd like to grapple the other red cap
Okay.
with the other arm.
They're no longer goats. Come on. You can roll. You have successfully grabbed this red cap.
Great. And that's my turn. So I've got one in each arm.
Yep. Arlen.
Okay. Boom. I'm going to. I'm going to use my spirit tail on the red cap close enough. Start whispering to it, and it needs to make a wisdom saving throw. DC 15.
There it goes. That will pass.
Okay, then nothing happens. Bonus action.
Was
I
that
will.
your tail or?
Yeah, tail of the
Oh, okay.
beguiler. If it had failed, it would have taken psychic damage and been incapacitated. But no biggie. With my bonus action, I'll just roll on the table again. 2. And that's it.
Okay. Court, you are up.
No, probably not.
No, that will miss.
All right.
That was I wasn't sure which one you were attacking, but it. Anything
Oh,
for a bonus action or?
can I
Sorry, go ahead.
roll with advantage if I use study aim?
Yes, you would need to do that. The steady aim first, but yes, go ahead.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, as long as you haven't moved, you could have steady aimed, and there's not really a solid reason not to. So that will definitely hit.
Jesus.
Win some, lose some.
At least it hit.
Still hits. All right, Hemlock,
That's
you
it.
are up.
Targeting this one.
Okay.
We will just seeing if there's anything weird that I want to do, but like these guys are not really like worth anything besides my incredibly powerful dark magic.
A 15 will hit.
Okay. And then I'll hit him again if he's still alive.
Mhm.
Ooh.
That is just barely enough. And as the bolts of energy, thump, thump, thump,
Yeah. Cool. That's it for my turn.
he is going to struggling to get out of your grasp. He is going to lash out with his iron-studded boots. Banner, make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Mm-hmm.
That will pass. You manage to avoid the steel shod soles of his boots, holding him at arm's length.
Clank.
Yep, that's it. You're up.
All right, so there's that for being grappled. And now I will just drop the slumping body of his compatriot from my other hand, and now that it is free, I will smash this guy twice in the face.
Ooh,
Okay.
holy shit.
15 will hit. Uh, yeah, that he's very bloodied. You, anything else? Movement, bonus action?
Nope, that's it.
Arlen, you're up.
Okie dokie. I will try again with my tail. This one is Tail of the Renowned Duelist. So I'm gonna make a spell attack. Man, I don't have any spell. I need to set up one of those. We'll just charisma +3. So, hey, would you look at that? Well, not with the 1, so that would only be a 26. So that's gonna be 2 rolls of my Bardic Inspiration die plus my Charisma modifier. I really should set up a button for all of this. So that's gonna be 8 damage.
I don't know what this story does, so by how exactly does this red cap die to this?
A little the flame of Arlen's candle kind of grows, and a small figure of a duelist with a rapier and a little buckler shield comes out, and like, on God, and then comes up and like stabs him in the eye.
All of the red caps have been slain. Their weapons still lie in the carpet of leaves surrounding this gigantic oak tree. The little sprites that had been sort of hiding away in the houses peek their head back through the windows that they had been speaking to you through. Oh, that's a can you make sure that those don't stay here? Thank you. I mean, I don't want to sound ungrateful. Thank you for saving our home.
No, yeah, I get it. We'll clear them out.
Uh,
We'll do our best. If we take out the hag, will the red caps be, taken care of?
I just meant the bodies. If you could.
Oh, Y-
Arlen like pulls from his back and just like unfurls the lily pad, and it hovers above the ground. Banner, can you give me a hand? We'll pile them up.
Certainly. And I will.
Good, sorry.
No, yeah, I'm just helping him haul these things onto the lily pad.
Yeah, they fit easily on this lily pad, which just sort of has its little hanging roots sort of dangling just barely bent on the ground of the forest here. The the pixies look down. Oh, that's handy. Um, is there some way that we can? Uh, my name is Amaryllis. This is my sister Kaluna, and that over there is Zinnia. It's we would like to thank you if we could. If there's something you're new here, right?
Mhm.
Well, it's it's not very much, but uh, we can we can give you some. s- s- We can tell you a bit about this place. I mean, it's well, mm, I suppose the most important thing is that you'll want to get rid of them quickly. Uh, Ever since Nightshade moved in here, those creatures, those red caps, have slowly begun to take over the forest. They haven't made it this far before. They've never bothered us here, but be careful. You'll have to watch. Well, you'll hear them long before you see them. I- What are you doing here in Thither, if you don't mind my asking?
Hag busting.
Yes, more or less.
Oh,
We've been
j-
successful so far.
okay.
Little injury.
Do do be careful. The red caps are grown in Nightshade's garden. They're at they're in a place called Loomlurch. It's I I believe it's about 3 days that way, and she points off in what you know to be west, and immediately Kaluna, the one in the window next to her, sticks an arm out the window pointing southeast. No, no, it's 3 leagues that way, and there is a somewhat sort of ringing laughter as Zinnia pops her head out, points directly north. No, 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 no! Don't listen. Don't listen to the two of them. It's 5 days travel that way. When you get to the bend in the river, turn to the east, and then it's another, well, probably your size, 60 paces.
Oh, wait, I know this one. Which one of you guys would you get directions from?
Well, I mean, I would use my directions because they're right. Your directions aren't right. It's that way. No, you're both wrong. I've we Which one of us has scouted Loomlurch? None of us have scouted Loomlurch. Okay, but
Are
w-
any of them correct?
he just sort of shrugs, points off in the direction you all have been walking.
Where are you taking us if you don't know?
Well, I mean, to Loomlurch. But I mean, without without Hemlock there, I don't know which way is north. I'm just he points. It's that way.
Well,
Yeah.
it
Wait,
seems as if our usual attempt at locating the reigning hag should just proceed as it once had, wander until someone who truly knows or can find it for us, or else it appears in front of us,
Well,
will continue on.
I I know the way. I do. Uh, It's hard to say because his face is that it is a skull with no eyes, and certainly no tear ducts. But purely from the sound of his voice, if he could cry, he would be tearing up right now. Um, it, I suppose if there is one other thing, I mean, we may not be able to. We don't have anything to offer you. I mean, feeding 3 families of squirrels takes up a lot of our resources. But I can point you to Nib. He he's happy to share his fortune with everyone. Well, okay. My sister might be being a little generous. He will share. He's just, I don't know that I'd say he's happy at all.
Ooh.
Who is this Nib?
He came here recently to make a deal of some sort with Bavlorna. Or not, I'm gonna keep calling her Bavlorna. To make a deal with Skabatha. It I know this may come as a surprise, but it backfired, and now he toils away in his home. It's not far, simply, and all three of them point off in a vaguely westerly direction. It's that way.
Ooh. Sounds like a good lead.
A better lead than the last one.
Anything else we can do for you fine folks?
No, I mean, our tree is not doing well, but I think as long as,
Oh?
I mean, look at it. And they gestured towards the browning leaves and the leaves on the ground, and then sort of at all the trees around. But if you're going to deal with Nightshade like you say, then, well, hopefully.
I I make a little rain cloud the edge, like over one of the roots.
The water travels down the root, hits the ground, and sort of pools there without really soaking in immediately. Um, Thank you, I suppose.
Gives a thumbs up.
Well, good luck.
You as well.
And as
Is
they
is
good,
there a good place to dispose of these bodies? I know you mentioned there are red caps everywhere. We don't want, obviously, we want to move them from here so that you are not implicated, but moving them won't do us much good if we just dump them in some other area that will implicate you.
they
Oh,
look at each other, and a sort of dark and kind of sad look passes between them, and they nod, and the one uh, that has been introduced as Zinnia points much the same direction that they pointed a minute ago and says, "There's a spot not far that way. You'll know it when you see it. You can leave them there."
very well. Thank you for your assistance. We are pleased that we could be of some help to you.
Good luck on your journey. Good luck with Nightshade. Watch out for the red caps and keep your ears open. Well, yes. And uh, one of the squirrels darts into the house, and they turn and close their little window. Clapperclaw looks up at you and points one way. Well, that they said that way to the circle and to Nib. But I'm telling you, Loom Loom Lurch is that way if you want to go right to Nightshade. They're about
Detours can't
90
hurt,
degrees
right?
off each other.
Well, Detour certainly could hurt, but I fear Nightshade might hurt more.
Well, then first order of business is to get rid of these bodies.
Oh,
No?
let's just bring them out this way and then I'll burn them all.
Hmm. You're not at all concerned that the smoke might attract attention?
No?
Very well.
Yeah, take them a little ways away in the westerly direction, and then burn these bodies.
You make your way through the forest with the bodies being carried on the bobbing lily pad. I guess a couple hundred-ish feet or so. If you want away from them, you can see a clearing ahead. There's plenty of cl- clear space on the ground around some of the trees. Either way,
Mhm.
the process is not perhaps as fast as it would be in a dedicated crematorium, but you are able to dispose of these just pungent bodies uh, over the course of uh, uh, you know 20, 20 or so minutes of just dedicated maintaining, I'm assuming, bonfire concentration.
Mhm.
Yeah. Afterwards, the trek continuing along the way that you all had been traveling, you do come to a spot that you are pretty sure is the spot indicated uh, by the pixies. Another clearing similar to the one that the balloon landed in, but it looks different. Where the last one, the mushrooms and toadstools which formed the ring in the clearing were bright caps and sweet smells. This place looks almost, I mean, your brain almost flashes back to hither for a moment. The mushrooms here are withered and dark, and the smell of moldy leaves and rotten things wafts from the center of this ring, which is about 20 feet across, this small clearing, the middle of which is carpeted with um, more fallen leaves, which don't really look like they've come from any of the trees. It's the trees look fine, but still the smell of leaf mold and uh, you know, as you are walking by, you can see all manner of kind of creepy, crawly gribblies making their way through this fairy ring. The Campestry on your shoulder, Arlen, has been humming a little tune, like it seems to always be doing. That it always has a little hum, always, just not really noticeable unless you specifically listen for it. It has gone completely silent as it sort of peers down at this ring of dark and wiry mushrooms.
Oh, buddy, is everything okay?
For the first time since you have rescued it and spoken to it, it does not sing back. It does not answer at all.
Hmm.
And as you travel by and sort of begin to put this ring behind you, there is a sort of chorus of voices that just call out sort of jeeringly, little puffball's got his little friend. Think we can get his friend. I think we can get his friend.
Arlen kind of goes into like a defensive, like, who's there?
As you sort of turn to find the source of the voice, the numerous toadstools that form this ring slowly turn and reveal gnarled little faces, broken little teeth, and they just stare at you as you go by. Every once in a while, some of them will sort of lean in and whisper to each other, and then they just sit back straight and watch as your party goes by.
Is
Caught
this
that
something? Go
it
ahead.
is some of the creepiest shit I have ever seen. And I mean, I just talked to Emlock about how creepy that shit was.
Agreed. And
Oh,
I.
so my apologies. It's just it threw me off. It was but we saw the very cute mushroom little fellow that Arlen has, and then to see these very menacing. It's terrible.
I'm not much of a Myconist myself, but it perhaps it is possible they are under some sort of effect of this realm. Uh, that Nightshade has some influence over them, but admittedly, my natural instinct is to. And he like makes an explosion with his hands.
Well, obviously the choice is yours, but it seems that they are quite slow. Perhaps just continuing on our way and paying them no mind.
Well, perhaps they are as those little, oh, what were they called? Lawnlings. Um, they might be indeed messengers for Scabatha.
Very well. Point well taken. Should we stop so that we can take care of them?
Court Arlen, how do you feel?
Neutral.
I kind of just want to get my little buddy out of here. He does not seem to be happy.
Perhaps that was what was mentioned in Bavlorna's Book of Bad Blood? Perhaps? But if that is how you feel, then yes, we may leave. Besides, as is the case with Bavlorna, either the hag will know that we are approaching or she won't, and either way we will be there, and either way she may or may not be prepared.
You continue on through the forest. The ring of dark toadstools falls out of sight behind you through the tree line. Up ahead, eventually a soft glow, a warm golden light be, makes its way, begins to sort of peek through the trees ahead of you. And carved into the hillside is a cave entrance from which you can see the flickering light of a fire of some kind. Um, the other thing that catches your eye immediately near the cave is nailed to many of the trees around here are weathered parchment, a sheet pinned with a large sort of, it looks like a giant sewing pin. Um, a sheet of parchment featuring a picture of a young boy, and written on it, underneath the sign of wanted, is in sort of scratched dark ink a message that just says, "This little troublemaker belongs to me. Bring him home alive and unharmed, and you'll win the heart of one you love." And it's signed at the bottom. You can see Granny Nightshade.
Hmm.
How troubling. And what with the business with dear Octavian, I don't feel as if this proper reward is all that it might sound.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what it is that he's done.
Well, if Granny Nightshade is anything like her sister, then I'm sure he had done something for which he should be rewarded.
Agreed.
Well, if you come into my cave, we can talk about Will. Good kid. A voice from past the flickering light.
What in God's name?
Hello? You know this person on the wanted poster?
Everybody from who's spent time in there knows about Will. Please come in. I don't like shouting.
Banner will start walking in. What is your name?
Nib. Well,
Ah,
everyone calls me Nib.
Oh, hey, that's what we're looking for.
everyone calls you
like
Nib.
you.
Well, what is your name? What would you like to be called?
What his actual name? Um, my actual name is. I am absolutely completely blind. I know it's in here. Holy crap.
Yes, placeholder.
Merrill.
It is a
No, it's
Merrill. It
fine.
is a beautiful name.
No, everyone calls me Nib, and as he comes into view, you see a very old man. He has lost almost all of the hair on top of his head, and what is around the back and sides of his head has thinned to the point where his skin is completely visible. He sits at a strange spinning wheel, wearing a blindfold over his eyes, and as you watch, he reaches over into a large pile of gold coins. And when I say a large pile, the entire back of this cave is covered in thousands of gold coins. He grabs a handful of them and holds them near to the spinning wheel, where the raw wool would normally be placed to spin. He touches the gold coins to a spindle there, and they begin to turn into strange golden fibers. Not quite a yarn, not quite a thread, just a strange twirling, almost wisp wisp of gold. Welcome in. What? Where? You're not from here. Where are you from?
Well, we've all traveled from the material plane,
Really?
and
Covers.
hither before, just after that.
I'm from a place called Toril myself. Waterdeep.
Hmm.
That's some many leagues from where I hail from, but it's not unheard of.
Oh, Rumians also. Well, welcome in. And as he is speaking, and as you um as you are watching him sort of grab handfuls of coins and turn them into this sort of ephemeral golden thread, he is facing away from you, and as he does the spinning, a number of sort of translucent figures step out of, not even the shadow. They step out of the walls of the cave. The cave is actually very brightly lit from a, a a a large fire in a sort of carved out hearth, and then the light that the fire throws is sort of magnified by the piles of very, very shiny golden coins. These figures are all kinds of shapes and sizes. There is a a woman in sort of tattered skirts and dabbing at clearly crying and dabbing at her face with a handkerchief. There is what is clearly a halfling of some sort, gaunt and thin, in sort of threadbare patchwork clothing as well. None of the figures seem as though that they are very um, well to do, even if they weren't apparitions. And every once in a while, they'll pop out and poke at Nib. Um, some of them sob and then throw their hands into his ribs, and he every time they connect with him, he winces. But it's not enough that there's no bruising or anything like that. They're not causing damage.
What is happening?
What's all this?
What the fuck?
He laughs sort of dryly, just. I asked Nightshade to put my ill-gotten gains behind me so that I would never have to see the ones I tormented again. Well, Never make a deal with a hag, it would seem. Now, I can't bear to look at them. The victims of my tenancy in Waterdeep.
Victims of your what?
I was their landlord.
Mm. Right. Well, we told you can help us.
I asked Nightshade to help me make amends. None of the
Mhm.
gods answered me.
Oh,
And,
we're here because you could help us.
well, how can I help you? What are you here for? What are you doing? And I will spin for you, and something that can help on your way.
Well, to be blunt, we're here to kill Skabatha.
Really? Nothing. I don't know that I can do anything directly. I can't weave a weapon or but hmm. And as he sits at the wheel and grabs handful of after handful of coins and feeds them into the spinning wheel, the first thing he pulls out is that he seems to craft is it is about a 2 foot long rod etched. It is some sort of um, white stone with gold veining and a large golden cap on one side. Where the other material came from, no idea. He just picked up handful after handful after handful of coins from the massive pile behind him. And this came out. I don't know. It won't hurt her directly, but you can use it to keep yourselves protected, doors sealed, things like that. You, you seem like. And he's turning to face each of you individually, and he never takes the blindfold off. He just sort of stares at you, almost through it. Not quite at you each time. He's always just a few degrees off of staring directly into your faces. But each time he sort of sizes one of you up, reaches into the massive pile of gold, and produces an item, something. To you, Hemlock, he holds out a large golden amulet with a closed eye on it, held up on a very finely woven golden chain. You, I think you're running. Well, you don't have to worry with this. She can't see you. They won't see you. Nothing you don't want. You, well, you're young, you're small, we've got a desire. You're a storyteller. And to you, Arlen, he holds out a very, very finely crafted hat made of a dark velvet with a threading of gold and pink, with a flame motif sort of around the edges of what are those flat, wide-brimmed hats? Not like sombrero sized, but like boater. Is that what they're called? Boater hats?
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
I think they're called boater hats.
Yeah. Boater hat, like made out of straw.
Yeah.
Yeah, boater hat.
Occasionally my mind still works. And well, this Nightshade said that I couldn't make weapons, but this might. And as he reaches to the piles of gold coins, the um the item that he hands towards you, Banner, is a little insignia. It's an insignia ring with a series of um a series of etchings around the tip, or not the top of the ring, little fists, and I'm just gonna pop them up. Oh, that's why I can't find it, because I have a filter on. Why do you put things in this module and not put them in the list? Um, Now I gotta pull them out of the compendium. Boop.
Oh, hell yeah. Time to cause problems.
Come on, roll 20. Give me these sheets. Oh god, it's stuck to my mouse. Okay. I will add them to the thing. There is an amulet of proof against detection and location. There is a
Yay.
hat of disguise, and there is an insignia of claws in addition to the immovable rod. I don't know why it will not add these to the compendium. To the Yeah, it's
What?
okay. I will apparently have to add some of those manually because they won't even come up with a compendium. Why would you put these in the module and not put them in the frickin' thing? The pile of gold is noticeably diminished as he finally stops pedaling the wheel and turns to sort of again, without removing a blindfold, sort of survey the pile of coins that are still glittering here in the cave. That's a massive help. Thank you. I wanted to find a way to use this to help people. I'm not happy with the deal, but at least it's working. Why are you here to kill Nightshade?
Because this land is not as it should be. This is the realm of Zybilna, and it has been fractured by those who have overreached their what they ought to have.
Mm.
It is
Oh,
hurting people.
That's all true, but you said yourself you're not from this world. Why this world? We both know that there's plenty wrong in Faerun.
We've each lost something to the Coven. We are hoping to recover all of them.
Yes, and in addition, we have made promises to people at home that we will try and re-establish contact with Zabilna.
I don't know who that is. By the time I came here, this place was already run by Nightshade. But if it will make this place better, well, I hope these items help. You were asking outside about the boy, Will. Nightshade wants him because he has been helping her workers to escape. Children.
So, Nightshade has children working for her? Doing what?
I believe they're making toys. Horrible, horrible things that she delivers to other kids. Fill them with nightmares. I think that's where she draws her strength.
Mm.
I've only seen a few places in Loomlurch when I made my deal. Understand? They're kept afraid, not hurt, but afraid. In line. But you have to beware of the guards. The clockwork guards. And outside, the red caps. All over the place. I mean, I can point you the way to Loomlurch if you'd like, but I can't leave here. I'm bound until all of this, and he gestures at the remaining pile of gold, is gone.
Well, your deal is with Granny Nightshade. What if Granny Nightshade is no more?
I think that would do it, yes. Well, I don't. I'd like to finish my work. Atone.
Arlen,
Yeah.
you speak with spirits.
Yeah.
There be some way that we might alleviate this burden?
I'm not sure I follow.
Is there some way we might be able to help.
Help do what? I mean, he made a deal with the hag, and we've got to get rid of the hag.
I mean, in the short term.
I don't know.
They're they're not real ghosts, if that's what you mean. They're just apparitions, forms, hauntings. I do appreciate it, but once my work is finished, they will not trouble me anymore.
Very well.
If there's anything else I can do, anything else you want to know about, I haven't left here in some time, so I can't tell you much of what's gone on lately.
No, that should be sufficient, I think. Well,
Well,
perhaps you may have seen a gnomish fellow coming through here at some point, or have known of one.
No, I'm afraid I haven't. I don't get as many visitors out here as I would like. Part of the curse, you understand.
Hmm.
Well,
you have been very gracious with your time and your labor. Your gifts are quite wonderful. The ring you have given me is quite beautiful. I would be very happy if you would accept this, and I will offer him a cigarette that I have rolled from Sue's Colorful Tobacco.
he takes it very, very carefully from your hands with a string of thank yous. Very carefully, he removes the blindfold, keeping one eye closed as much as possible, making sure to not turn around to where the apparitions appear through the wall where he had been facing before. He manages to get a piece of a small piece of match so that he can light the cigarette. And as he is doing so, one of the apparitions crosses in front of him and pokes him just square in the side of his head, right in his temple. And he closes his eyes and he just starts to sob. He gets his cigarette lit. He replaces his blindfold, little clear spots in the dirt on his face. I need to get back to work. Thank you for the cigarette. and with it dangling out of the corner of his mouth, he begins to reach into the piles of gold once again uh, and turn it into the fine wispy golden threads with which he has been crafting. Clapperclaw just sort of backs out of the cave.
Yeah, we don't need to hang out here.
Back on to Loomlurch, then. I promise you it's this way. Right. And he sets off once again through the trees. The sounds of the wheel sort of fade behind you. The light from Nib's cave begins to dim and eventually vanish from behind. As you're walking, you notice more and more of the wanted posters tacked up with the same sort of large pins to more and more trees, each one making a different offer, whether it is to bury you up to your neck in silver, to vaguely less threatening ones, such as ensuring that no sword will ever break your skin again, giving you the power to bring the dead back to life. Whatever the reward, the request is always the same. Wanted, Will of the Woods. Bring him to me alive in Loomlurch. Signed, Granny Nightshade.
Every time I see one of these, I burn it.
Easily done. They are written on parchment, which goes up the whatever the ink is burns a strange sort of fluorescent greenish color as the fire takes the ink. And I think, if we don't mind calling a little early, I'm going to pick up there next week.
Hell yeah.
Wahoo!
Oh god, How do I get rid of Craig now? Kick?
Uh,
Not
Slash.
kick.
/leave.
Sleeve. Got it.